What is up, peeps? Saturday. Survived the hurricane. Got about 12 leaves in the yard. It was not that bad here. So, right back at it today, wrapping up this project here at the house. And wanted to shoot a quick live for you guys and talk about the sketchiest thing. There's Micah. What's up, Micah? Mike. The sketchiest thing that you can run into, in my opinion, on a residential wash job. So this house is pretty straightforward here, but it's not now because I've added this. But this thing here, man, you guys washing, you got any kind of time under your belt, these are the gremlins that we're talking about when we're doing property protection. We had Serious Starter Boot Camp last weekend, and one of the big questions that we always get at the in-person training events, and it's a good question, I'm glad guys are asking it, is property protection, right? So it's a big topic. Usually pricing-centered questions are always kind of top of mind. Equipment is always top of mind, which is good. You know, we all like equipment. Most of us are kind of equipment guys. We like tools. And then property protection usually comes up. And there were two guys sitting up front. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Woo, God almighty. Two of the guys that were sitting up front in the class, they I could tell they were really zoned in on property protection, and they already owned landscaping business. And it is a good thing to put focus on. It's just interesting to me how, you know, some dudes in there, we've trained thousands of people, they ain't thought the first damn thing about property protection. You know, they're really thinking about equipment and pricing and other stuff. And then you've got other guys where that's sort of their main focus. And that can come from different places. A lot of times they just read some kind of a horror story online, and so that's where their mind is at, which is fine. It's not a bad thing to put some due diligence on, for sure. So this is a good example here of things we don't like to see when we're quoting jobs. Now, the rest of this house, other than the back porch area where of course we've got the TVs, right? Outdoor living areas are just very popular. If you guys are quoting like you should and you've positioned your business like you should, you're catering to higher end clientele by default. Okay, that's good. They got plenty of money. You know, they're usually easier to work with. But the negative that seems to come with that is their properties are a lot less cookie cutter subdivision. There are a lot more custom homes, outdoor living areas, and things like this that can be a problem for you. So this is a good example. I wanted to show you guys, this is my house, and this one wouldn't freak me out too bad, but it's because I kind of know what to do and how to mitigate chemical application and how to not screw up, because this one is still off of the wall here a pretty good bit. So we've got about 8 feet, 8, 9, 10 feet, something like that, from the wall all the way out to the water. Things I would want to know is, how long has this thing been here? Or all the, you know, we just did this. This is literally a week old. We installed all this ourselves. This tree. I still got to do this side. Like, I don't like none of that, so I'm going to rip all that out. But all this is new. This is new. That's a potted plant, so that's definitely, if you do it right, it looks like it's been there a long time, right? So I would want to ask that quick question to the homeowner and say, hey, you know, how long your install been done here on this landscaping? We've got a Jap maple over here, but this wouldn't scare me too bad. If you're new, this needs to scare you a little more, because you probably suck at chemical application, and you probably suck at even knowing if you got some overspray on something, because what it is your brain is thinking about all this, and that's normal and natural. You know, you haven't done enough work to really be able to put this part on autopilot and think about this other shit out here. And that's what you got to get to, but that just takes reps. That just takes getting out in the field and doing it. So this pond would still be doable. I want to show you guys a little trick, a little hack. This ain't foolproof. Hopefully we don't drop off of Wi-Fi by walking this way. This is not a foolproof hack, okay? but every time I've ever done a job where we did something around a koi pond, honestly, there's a lot of koi pond house jobs we just pass on. So that's your ultimate hack, is just if it's at all worrying you, don't do it. Don't take the job. It ain't worth it. But if you can do it, if it's one you want to try to do, get you some of this stuff here. This is a dechlorinator, and it's not going to hurt the pond at all. So there's going to be dosing instructions. This is for new pond startups, because if you're filling it up with city water, municipal water, it's going to have chlorine in it. And this is designed to dechlorinate the water. It will not hurt the fish. So I will go to usually PetSmart, and this is like the professional stuff here, but get the little PetSmart version of that and throw it in there before you start, like 30 minutes. As soon as you pull up, throw some of that in there, and it's not going to save you, but it can help. It can mitigate if a little mist, little wind direction change, and you get a slight bit of overspray in there. It can definitely save you ass. So it's not like you can dump that in there and then go buck wild out here, but you still got to be careful. That's a little hack right there. Another thing that I would do is when I got to this area, right? So when I started washing kind of from, say, this column to here to this area, I would treat this as just its own thing. Nothing to hurt other than the light fixture, just normal stuff. We would do this by its damn self. So I would have my second guy for sure keeping all this stuff basically a force field of water. You can do that with your pressure washer. You can do it with a super pump. Anytime I'm going to spray an angle where I could get them away, can say you're using a ball and right here and shoot right here and just make a mist cloud so that any particulate that might try to come back, it's going to hit this force field of water. So I would just literally have him stand probably right here and point the gun and go psh, and just move the gun kind of up like this, and he's going to create a force field so that while I'm over here putting Kim on the wall, or if I'm doing a roof, will help us if we're doing a roof this close to a koi pond. It's sketchy. We could do the little force field trick. I really like that because it's cheap and free, and you're already standing here. So it's going to be a pain in the ass trying to tarp this thing. That's another option. But koi ponds, man. So we went yesterday and bought these damn fish. There's 3 of them down there. What'd we name these things? That gold one's almost too big for this pond. So we're probably going to take him back and just have the other 2. They're smaller. They're not small. They're probably 13 inches long, that one and that one. But this dude right here, he's massive. And he's a little bit big. He can't turn around in these holes. So we're up there buying the fish. These 2 are about $1,000 a piece. All right, this one, because of the coloration, there's all kinds of ways they determine how much they're worth, but he was about $800 for the orange one there. So these things, if it ain't goldfish, they get pricey real fast. But here's the deal. These fish are poor men fish. This is not like the boys can tell you how much money he having in fish tanks. Just in that one building we were in. Yeah, probably like 20 million. He showed us some fish in there that were $100,000 a piece. Some that were $50,000 a piece. Okay, a shitload that were like $15,000 and $20,000 fish. And all the way down to these. Now, I just wanted this size because that's about the size that can fit in here right. But it's wild. Like big don't equal expensive. There's all kinds of ways they grade these things. It's like a whole thing, man. So next time somebody tells you your prices are too expensive for your service, just remember, fish, a damn fish. It's wild as hell, cuz wild as hell. But you know what? Who says that fish is worth 100,000 or the catfish down there in the lake ain't worth $4? The market has spoken. The market says it's worth that because that's what people pay. A Beanie Baby, a Pokemon card, it ain't worth no more than anything. Intrinsically, that fish ain't worth about $6. But because people pay $800 for him, that's what he's worth. So you just need to be hyper aware of that for kind of two reasons. Number one, don't ever let somebody tell you ain't worth it. The market will tell you that. I'm not saying you can definitely be priced way too high, but you'll know because you'll go out of business. People that just come into your environment and tell you you're too expensive, that don't mean shit. It is what people will pay. So if you're booking jobs and closing jobs, then you're where you need to be. But the other big takeaway there is, man, be super cautious, guys, around any of this kind of koi ponds. You see a koi pond, that needs to hit your radar. You guys that are running crews, doing remote quoting, things like that, you don't need to let any of this slip through the gaps in your quoting process because a pond can change the game. That can make literally just this little 100 square feet on the property job to a extreme different type of job that you got to really put your brain in gear and slow down and be cautious of. So that's it, guys. We're gonna get back to Wright's pressure washing out there, lunch break, even like the top end. It's just wild. It's absolutely crazy. I knew it was like that because I've had ponds before, and I've read up on them online, but just seeing them in person was pretty wild. Boys, have a great weekend. We'll check in with you later.